What if I told you the creator of Rugrats partnered with McDonald's to make an animated show about Ronald McDonald? Up until the past 5 years, the McDonald's Corporation had put in a lot of effort into the construction and development of the McDonald's cinematic universe. Marketing the world of McDonaldland was essential to their fast food branding, as was their iconic clown mascot, Ronald McDonald. The fast food chain knew who they were marketing to as well, putting further emphasis on media that underdeveloped brains would attach themselves to. This led to producing animated content based off of Ronald McDonald and his gang of McDonaldland friends in the 1980s. But before there was the Wacky Adventures of Ronald McDonald series, there was Ronald McDonald and the Adventure Machine, released in 1987. And it was really only shown exclusively at McDonald's birthday parties. Sign me up. In this 8-minute short, the McDonaldland gang used an adventure machine to travel to the Arctic, Old West, jungle, and a prehistoric island. About 3 years later, a standalone animated special with a runtime of 25 minutes was created, titled The Adventures of Ronald McDonald, McTreasure Island. Now that's a lot of nuggets. This was more distributed than the first. It was animated by Studio Kurumi, which also helped animate well-known Ghibli movies like Castle in the Sky and Porco Rosso. In this, we follow Ronald and his friends as they sail the seas in search of, yeah, you guessed it, treasure. Distributed on VHS by High Tops Video, a spokesperson for the company said it was made because it's a fun adventure story based on a great book, which kids can learn from. But we also know it was definitely a more marketable way of spreading the concept of McDonaldland to children as a marketing effort. It was a somewhat cleverly disguised 25-minute commercial, if we're being perfectly honest. This animated special must have performed well because a few years later, in 1998, the first episode of The Wacky Adventures of Ronald McDonald was released. Let's dig into this Happy Meal. Ooh, a toy.
The Wacky Adventures of Ronald McDonald.
Rocky Roll McDonald's.
For the record, I'm not having fun anymore.
Come on, guys!
Distributed on VHS tapes, each 40-minute animated special was available for purchase at participating McDonald's locations from October 9th, 1998 to January 30th, 2003. There were a total of 6 episodes that were released individually, each one marketing the next, making a point to literally say, hey kids, remember how much fun you had watching all these VHS? Well, make sure you don't miss the next one.
If you thought that was fun, take a peek at some of the other adventures we have in store for you.
But the animation studio is what is most remarkable about the series. Klasky Csupo. Csupo. Listen, I know I'm saying it wrong, so just know that I know I'm saying it wrong, but please feel free to make fun of me in the comments. But just know that I'm going to keep saying it Csupo, but I know I'm wrong, so we're on the same page. Which you may recognize from their work on very well-known series like Rugrats, as well as The Wild Thornberrys, Duckmen, and many more. Klasky Csupo was founded in 1982 by Arlene Klasky and Garber Csupo in their Los Angeles apartment. Since their company's creation, they've produced shorts for Sesame Street, music videos for bands like the Beastie Boys, and later expanded into TV shows that we all know and love today. Like I just said, the Rugrats, Wild Thornberrys, All Real Monsters, but you can't forget Santo Bugito. See, I don't even remember this one, and I'm the hey wait remember guy. They even branched out into live action for Garbo Csupo's directorial debut in Bridge to Terabithia. So, why in the world would a serious animation company work on such a commercial project? Well, as it turns out, Klasky Csupo branched out from their television work and established a commercial branch in 1995. They also worked on branding and commercials for Coca-Cola, Taco Bell, Oscar Mayer Lunchables, and Kraft. Their statement on their website reads, Klasky Csupo is much more than a 21st century cartoon factory. It turned out to be a multimedia enterprise devoted to film, TV, video, publishing, and advertising. This was not a completely alien project for the company, and judging off of the diverse amount of work they've done in the past with music videos and commercials, this really isn't all that surprising. But it is interesting why there is a striking resemblance to Rugrats specifically.
Did you hear him? No dessert after dinner.
The Hamburglar is very clever and very sneaky.
The Hamburglar!
If you want something to smile about, just say cheeseburger at McDonald's.
Most people who look at this show can't help but make that comparison immediately. There's obviously artistic range in the work that Klasky Csupo puts out, but they chose to stick to the specific style for the show. So why didn't they give this cartoon its own unique art style? Well, we actually don't know, but we can speculate. This could be because the animators wanted the art style to be similar, hence being easily recognizable for marketing purposes. Rugrats was an intensely popular show and extremely distinguishable too. Another reason for this could be that the animation company was given a lot of artistic control over how the characters would be stylized in this series. Comparing it to the two other animated specials that came before it, this one stands out as an artistic expression as opposed to more traditional cookie-cutter 2D animation. I'm gonna keep it a buck with you, to be completely honest here. I kind of forgot a few times that this series serves as a gigantic commercial for the McDonald's Corporation. It's literally just propaganda to brainwash kids into thinking that they can't live without their essential nutrients from McNuggets every day. It's almost to the point where I would roll my eyes because, come on, how could I stand to watch it? But honestly, I had fun with it because I was distracted by the heavily stylized and recognizable character designs. Oh no, their plan worked on me. The creators also incorporated a lot of the Rugrats soundtrack into the episodes as well. Mark and Bob Mothersbaugh, the composers of the music for Rugrats, were also brought in to work on this project. So not only does it look like the Rugrats, it sounds like it too.
We did. Be prepared. That's the McNugget motto.
Wait, you telling me that these two were also part of Devo? You know, with the funny hats and the whip it real good?
And if that's not enough, voice actors for the series include Christine Cavanaugh as Birdie, a young chipper bird with pigtails, and was originally introduced with the McDonald's breakfast menu, but you may know her as her role as Chucky Finster. There was Kath Soucie as one of the Fry Kids, and also known as the voice of Phil, Lil, and Betty DeVille. And Charlie Adler, who voices the infamous scheming Hamburglar, as well as Ickis from Ah Real Monsters and Professor Spooky in Rugrats. D. Bradley Baker voices Sunday, Ronald's monotone talking dog, and also voices Fifi in Rugrats. Oh, and Kevin Michael Richardson, the voice of Grimace, the giant airheaded purple taste bud. He also voiced Martin Luther King Jr. in an episode of the Rugrats. The only other main actors that didn't also appear in the Rugrats was the role of Ronald McDonald, played by Jake Depke in the first 3 episodes and David Hussey in the remaining 3. This is most likely because once someone signs on to being Ronald McDonald, they're in it for life. The commercials, the appearances, the whole 9 yards. Other than Ronald, Vern Troyer is also credited as puppeteering Sunday the dog in the live-action segments that bookend the animated episodes. The show further develops scenarios and themes that were explored in the preliminary 2 animated specials. Starting off with a bang, the first episode of the series is a Halloween special entitled Scared Silly, in which the gang goes camping. But when they prove to be unprepared for the bad weather, they're forced to take shelter in an old, abandoned mansion infamous for being, and you're not gonna believe this, haunted. From there, we have an episode much like the second special where the gang travels to an island in search of treasure. But in this version, they are actually recruited to help the Grimace population in exchange for some of their hidden treasure. I hope it's more McNuggets. In the next episode, the gang must rescue the Hamburglar from alien tourists after he agrees to go on vacation with them, not realizing that he would be gone for thousands of years. Despite Hamburglar's attempts to steal burgers, the gang helps their friend, who is a criminal, but we're advertising him here as a character to sell burgers, but he steals the burger. Should I go to McDonald's and steal some burgers? McDonald's, that was a joke. I am not going to steal any burgers. The 4th episode is titled Birthday World, where Hamburglar is tricked into giving Ronald McDonald and the rest of the gang tickets to a fake amusement park, where they are trapped and de-aged by a mad scientist. In episode 5, titled Have Time Will Travel, they all travel to various locations with the help of Franklin's dad's time machine. They explore the prehistoric past, being swallowed by a dinosaur, meeting their Neanderthal counterparts, traveling further to the Elizabethan era, 1800s Wild West, and then to a 1970s McDonaldland disco party. It seems like they just kind of reused that other old idea that they used already. But this one has a disco party. In the final episode, they all travel to Scotland, where Birdie befriends the Loch Ness Monster and foil the exploitative plan of the evil duo Styles, and also Pip.
Ronald McDonald, why didn't you say something?
Oh, the great taste of McDonald's.
Throughout the series, there is a lot of downtime, where we are shown the straight absurdity of Ronald McDonald's magic clown abilities, defies the laws of gravity, giving a giant middle finger to all of physics. And despite all of these inexplainable magical acts that Ronald does to get them out of impossible situations, watching this series feels pretty surreal. This could be because we currently live in a time where McDonaldland and the characters that live there feel like a distant 1990s, early 2000s fever dream. The use of Ronald McDonald ceased around 2015, 2016-ish, when there was a bit of controversy due to the infamous clown attacks of the time. Despite this, the McDonald's Corporation was already beginning to phase out the use of their mascots. This could be due to the natural evolution of their marketing, but it's just a fact that kids of the newest generation don't seem to appreciate clowns like kids did in the 1960s. Well, at least some people on Twitter still appreciate clowns. Why do I even go on this website? You know, I'm just gonna say it. I don't know why clowns weren't always considered creepy in the first place. Some of the first commercials depicted Ronald McDonald approaching kids outdoors and taking their hands, leading them to McDonaldland, where burgers and nuggets grow naturally in the environment. I mean, that's absolutely terrifying. So they were already not using the mascot very often, but they publicly decided to retire Ronald when the deadly clown attacks started to ramp up. And without Ronald, the gang doesn't really have a purpose either. Due to this, I don't see a revival or reboot in the future of this series happening anytime. So does this mean we'll never see these characters again? Absolutely not. If there's anything McDonald's is constantly trying to do, it's marketing. And vintage or nostalgia-based content is a great market with high demand. Wow, okay, that was a drive-by at myself. It's very possible that these characters could return for a throwback campaign as an effort to draw in more of a crowd with older demographics. We may not get a reboot of this cartoon, but we could get re-edited footage or new media with the same characters. Whether it's a 15-second commercial or a whole marketing effort like the BTS meal or the Fortnite burger or whatever. As long as the McDonald's Corporation is alive, so is the McDonald's cinematic universe. So you tell me, who is the real MCU? Good old reliable capitalism. But what about you guys? Did I just resurface any forgotten memories? Watching this show sure did for me. Let me know down in the comments what you thought about the wacky adventures of Ronald McDonald. And thank you so much for watching. Make sure to hit the like button and subscribe for more content like this. Follow me on Twitter, and I'll be back with another video soon. But until then, later.